Hello and welcome to the 26th episode of the Wingley Update. Your favorite host, Eyal Keren, is with you, and we have. I'm starting alone this time. I usually start with more people here, and it's interesting. I didn't think how to talk to myself in the beginning of the show, but so I'm just going to talk about the show. So with us today, we're going to have developer Steve for a live interview. I just had a shocking kind of fact about Developer Steve. Developer Steve is Developer Steve legal name. So we're definitely gonna ask him about that. And then we're gonna have one and only Mark, also known as Mark the DJ, or maybe we should change his name for Mark the Changelog, which we're gonna talk about what has changed with Winglang and the Wing ecosystem lately. And last but not least, we're going to have our Raffle winner announcement. We're going to have Tsuf and Nathan with us on the show, and we're going to do some tossing and find some winners for the Raffle competition that we have. So without further ado, let's start with Developer Steve.
Hello. Let me put music. That was my music intro.
It's you changed the music on me. I mean, I was certain that you're gonna have a different tune.
Oh, the Pickle Rick one. Yeah, getting that to line up with the drop was always tricky. So anyway, hello everyone.
So hello, developer Steve, and hello to the viewers. Hi, Chris. Hi, Marcio. How are you guys doing? So Steve. Developer Steve. How should I call you? Developer? Should I call you Steve or Developer Steve? What do you like?
So funny story. I don't know. I did drop that on you like literally just before we went live. But yeah, my legal middle name is actually Developer Steve. So got married in 2018, and we decided to combine our surnames. So Cooper plus Houchin became Kuchin, which is my current surname. And at the same time, when I was filling out all the paperwork, I thought, maybe I'll just change the rest of my name while I'm at it. So, and like I've been in developer relations for 10 years now. It doesn't make me feel old at all. And everyone just like, when I turn up to, when I talk to people, they always call me Developer Steve. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to make it my middle name. So there we are. That's why it's my middle name. It's literally, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It made sense. Plus now I can get it on like, my passport. Well, actually I do have it on my passport, which surprisingly actually, sorry, you go.
You do have it on your passport.
I do have it on my passport, which I traveled for the first time because it actually changed in early 2020. And of course, then, the world got a bit weird. And so I didn't really, a couple things happened. And so I didn't travel international for a few years until last year when I went to AWS reInvent for the first time.
Oh, really?
Just side note there, for anyone that hasn't been to that before, like, wow, that is the biggest event I have ever been to in my entire life. And I've been to a lot of events. Anyway, that was the first time I traveled international.
I have to admit that last there in the halls. I mean, I couldn't find my way out. It was it's an intense event.
I got lost in that place so many times just because it's huge. Anyway, that was the first time traveling international, and I only got pulled aside once because somebody wanted to check my my passport. Admittedly, though, like I was traveling the day of my birthday on a brand new passport, a passport which hadn't been used before, with a middle name Developer Steve. So I was in for a fun time. Yeah. Anyway,
I can imagine. So you mentioned you've been 10 years doing developer advocacy. Is that correct?
I have. Yeah, and it's been fun. It's been interesting. You know what? It's kind of the reason. Well. Actually, not kind of. It is the reason why I like it. Is it's always changing. Like it's always different. You wear so many hats. You can learn so many new. Well, you have to learn so many new skills often while you're doing them. And that's the challenge. That's the thing that I love the most. Is it's always all of a sudden we're building UFO video scenes, etc. So it's always changing.
So the developer advocacy is kind of like people and computer. You have to like both of them, right? People and computer.
Yeah, and the computer has to like you.
Yeah. So when is your relationship with the computer started? What was your first? I mean, how long? What kind of computer?
This is my favorite question to ever ask is, what is your favorite computer? And I'm totally going to give my age away now because it was an Atari 800 XL and it had the 5.5-inch disc floppy, and I taught myself QBasic on that. 10 print hello, 20 go to 10.
On Atari?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, back in many, very long time ago.
Did you play the game in Atari? Did you play the? I think it was an ET game.
It was terrible. It was the worst game ever made. But it's the most expensive now.
Yeah, I as a kid, my father bought an Atari with the cassettes. And of course we exhausted all the cassettes that we had, or maybe it was just one. You had to pick, I don't really remember. And there was that game, and I couldn't play it. I couldn't understand it. I tried a bunch of times, and then like 20 years after, I saw Netflix, a whole thing on Netflix about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, with the landfill and people trying to dig them up because they're worth so much money now because it was such a terrible game.
Yeah. So what's the difference between basic and QBasic? I don't remember. Do you?
I actually don't know. I've never really thought of it. Oh, now I need to go find out. I'm not going to do it now. But I don't know. Well, it was probably just a couple command. Actually, if anyone knows, drop it in the chat, please, because I am now curious. I reckon it's going to be something to do with, like, my 2 cents is it's something to do on with licensing. Like maybe BASIC was licensed, and so you change a few commands, and all of a sudden it's not licensed anymore. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
So wait. My audio level is a tad low. Let me just make sure that everything is cool. I hope this is okay. So guys, help us.
Oh, that's better.
What's the difference between QBasic and BASIC? If you're listening, you have the internet. You can ask ChatGPT. You can, if you know, let us know.
But if you do ask ChatGPT, make sure you check the answer. Just say.
Yeah.
It might make it up.
In another ChatGPT. In another
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think QBasic was the Microsoft one. What was BASIC?
Maybe that was the Apple one. Quick Basic. There you go.
ID. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so
it was an IDE.
Wait,
that was an IDE?
Got it.
Wow.
The blue screen, the kind of the midnight controller, kind of look and feel.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, it's the same blue as the blue screen of death. The the Windows. Yeah.
Right.
It all connects now.
Yep. Someone's. I think Mark is mentioning this. Yep.
Oh, I would love to see Quantum Basic. Just saying, like, Quantum is really hard. I'm going to say Quantum is actually harder than Kubernetes, but I don't know. That might be a bit too far.
Maybe. I don't know. I know it's a hard learning curve on both of them. I'll just say that.
Actually, I have 2 questions. One is, what was your first computer? Oh, I think you may have already answered this.
My first computer was and I think it was first of all, it's x86. I mean, the Atari. I didn't treat the Atari as a computer. I don't remember. My falling in love with computer was basically getting an IBM x86. I don't remember the name, and it had a basic book, like this basic book with English. In English, I didn't know English, but I knew how to copy paste the kind of in my eye. Look at this. This looks like an age. Let's put an age 10. And I didn't know it, and I just copy and ran all the programs, and I kind of figured out what was going on. And I always remember that there was one of the application, the basic application, was doing some animation on screen, and it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me, and I didn't. It took me like years when I saw someone else do something in animation. It said, "Oh, you have to delete something." And then you put it in another place, and then my mind thinks this is moving. This is how move it inside computer. Yeah. So I couldn't, because I didn't understand it. I couldn't debug the original in the book basic. So that's Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's almost like once you figure out how the smoke and mirror trick works inside games, when you then look at games afterwards, you're broken because you know how it's being done. Like you can see what they're doing. Anyway, I always look at that and go, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. So first of all, I still when I still look at games, I'm still extremely surprised. How is this even working? This. I mean, it's like the engineering here. I need to understand. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Elad is mentioning that we have a tribute. Do you know we have a tribute to the blue screen of death in the Wing console? Are you familiar with it?
I do not.
Yeah. So if you ever write a Winglang program that doesn't compile and run it on the console, you're gonna get the blue screen of death on the.
Oh, see, all the ones I've been playing with this week and recently, they all compiled, so I haven't seen the error yet. Oh, now I feel like I'm missing out. Anyway, actually, that was my other, or partly that was related to my other question is, what do you call it? I think we may have chatted about this the other day, but what do you call a group of, like, you've got a community now in Wingland. What do you call a group of Wingland?
The Wingnuts. Right now,
there you go.
Called Wingnuts. It's an early stage voting. There was a voting system. And we ended up being called the Wingnut. I think Vital doesn't. She didn't like the name to begin with, but then it's probably grew on her. But it's interesting. But we are the Wingnuts for now.
Yeah. I was going with Winglangians.
Winglangian.
I mean, maybe that's the planet I'm coming from or going to.
Oh yeah. So it was also kind of a ChatGPT kind of. Give us names and I don't know what it means. But that's how we chose our name. So you kind of showed me your. So right now you're working for your T-shirt tells that you're working for Lumego as a developer advocate. For those of you who don't know, what is Lumego?
We do distributed tracing observability, really easily, one-click open telemetry for cloud deployments or distributed deployments. We make it really easy to be able to trace and debug your apps super quick. Actually, one of the interesting things I took away from AWS reInvent last year was, after talking to everyone, was a lot of people are now doing mixed deployments. And I have a blog post coming out of this because I almost have a working demo Winglang demo. Almost said Winglangians. I don't know why. It's early here. Hello from Wednesday, everyone, from the future. Yep. Anyway, right. Mixed deployments, which is really cool because you can do like a container deploy a container thing and a server thing together, and you kind of get the best of both worlds because you get your serverless deployment components, which obviously may not require as much component monitoring as your Kubernetes or your container environments. All in one little app. And that was a very big discussion point on our booth at reInvent last year, which was super interesting because a lot of people are doing Kubernetes and the serverless deployments side by side or in the same app. And so what Lumego is able to do is take the spans, all the log information, and create some nice trace maps and stuff from that. So I almost have a blog post ready to go on that using Winglang, which is kind of fun. I've been playing around with the container npm Winglang npm this week. Yeah, as well.
Nice. So you've seen a lot of people. We've seen this also, kind of companies that are kind of most of the time they're Kubernetes. Most of the workloads are Kubernetes, especially the kind of the synchronous calls goes directly to Kubernetes. But then there's two systems. They need to talk with each other, but they're not completely aligned about the data model. So you want to put something in the queue, have a Lambda massage the data a little bit, and push this on a different queue. We've seen ETLs. That's a kind of taking something from a bucket, all sorts of stuff in the kind of and eventually those people are building a serverless stack, kind of and one of the things they automatically come across is basically is the lack of the same tool. So OpenTelemetry is super relevant.
As somebody that has dug through like server logs and like system logs over the years, like it is an absolute pain in the backside. Just saying, friends don't let friends regex logs because Actually,
So
that's the sticker. I'm going to make a note of that.
what's the sticker? What's? Can you repeat this?
Friends don't let friends regex logs because
Yeah, got it. So you want to show us the app that you showed me before? It's a mix of
yeah.
almost all languages, almost all popular
It
languages.
is. It is almost a mix of all languages. And just as I do the screen share thing, it is really early here on Wednesday, so hopefully this works. I'm pretty sure it will because while I was drinking coffee, waking up, it was working.
Where you from? Developer Steve.
We didn't cover that part. Yeah, I live in space. No, I'm from Australia. So I got up at like 5 a.m. this morning, and it's currently 6 a.m. But I'm not telling myself that because in space, like time doesn't exist. So, well, it kind of does, but it doesn't. Anyway,
I think it exists. I think it exists. It really depends on how fast do you move, and it exists
and
relativity.
Relativity.
It exists anyhow, or it doesn't exist anyhow. It's a deep question.
This is true. Before this is a Kubernetes demo, so I'm gonna be, and we all know Kubernetes is really easy to use. So I'm gonna do this now because when I change over to my other screen, I won't be able to do this. So chances are I won't need this, and if I don't, ignore this scene, and I'll go to this one instead. Anyway,
So,
let me switch.
Awesome.
Yeah, I will do. They keep changing this share screen. There we go. All right.
Yep.
Ta-da! Let me make that a bit bigger. This is a glorious terminal. Let me make that larger. Yep. There we go. All right. So this application is basically the OpenTelemetry demo app, which I cannot make this any bigger because this is an SVG.
Got it.
Okay, actually, it does get a little bit bigger. Anyway, you can see here from the spaghetti map. I made that one up earlier. Spaghetti map. Anyway, this is literally, or this is an e-commerce, a basic e-commerce application that kind of uses almost one of everything, like literally one of everything. There's even a PHP in there. What is that? It's quite service.
Slowly. Let me take a look. Almost. I mean, you're doing Erlang LLX here. That's nice. Kotlin, TypeScript, Rust. There's no. There's no Swift here, and
there is no Swift. It's true.
But
actually, do they have it?
Yeah.
I have PHP, which if anyone that's actually tried using OpenTelemetry in PHP, it still needs a little bit of work, but it kind of works. The way PHP works.
The way PHP, I've in my past I had to develop feature flag systems for all languages, and PHP is a different set of complexity because of the life cycle of the process there.
It's definitely an interesting language. It's the time somehow. And I also come from. Actually, we're talking about it for anyone that's not in the Winglang Slack, and you should be in there because it's a really fun place. But anyway, we were talking about PHP this morning, and it was great because
right.
I'm going to switch back over here. So, and what we're going to do, so this is a Kubernetes application. Well, I'm going to deploy this to the Kubernetes and then also drop in or run it on top of, or actually it's alongside because it's an operator, but the Lamigo Kubernetes operator. So literally with this, I won't have to change, I don't change any of the code inside the application. I just deploy this and then the Kubernetes operator watches an entire namespace. So we're going to set up OTel -demo as the namespace, and then we'll point this at that, and then deploy the application, and that's it. Traces happen. Okay. No code changes needed at all.
Interesting. Wait, what do you mean no code changes? What's in the code? Are you using the OTel SDK or nothing? What do you mean no code changes?
So the Lamigo Kubernetes operator watches the namespace, and as soon as it sees a language pod deploy that it recognizes, it deploys the tracer that it needs to be able to monitor that particular namespace. So no code changes.
No code changes at all.
Which is my favorite bit because then I can just go do other stuff, and get all the benefit. And it's the same in the similar in a containerized environment. You just deploy the package and then auto instrument the app. So in an environmental variable, and that's it. So
Right.
no changes. And then in Lambda on
It'll be a layer,
in
right?
serverless, it's a layer. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Let me switch back to here. So going to deploy the operator, which is pretty quick. The only other thing to do then is to just create a manifest with Lamigo token and then point it at a namespace, which I'm going to do not in that screen because my token's going to be visible.
We want to
So
see your
I'll do
token,
that
man.
elsewhere.
We want to see your token. Everybody wants to see your token.
Want to see the token? All right, let me. Hang
I
on,
don't know.
I can do. I was going to change it and just put like developers here. Anyway. Oh, you know what? I actually did have one thing I was going to turn on, but I'll do it after this. I made something. Yesterday, but anyway, we'll get to that. Anyway, I'm going to drop my secret into here. It would help if I had the namespace running first. Let me create the namespace hotel demo. Right, now I can deploy my key off screen. That should be done. And that's kind of it as far as that goes. And let me just check. I'm just going to create. Right, tokens created. Deployment part. Woo-hoo.
Okay.
Oy. So far, so good. Nothing errored yet. Oh, don't slow down. So the other thing is, yeah, my CPU just hit 100%. But I mean, it is Kubernetes, and I am running.
Yep.
I did we were talking about this beforehand, but I updated. I'm using OBS to do my fancy scenes and stuff. Shout out to that community because like they do amazing work. Anyway, I updated it late last year, before my last live stream for the year, and my computer has never been the same since. So I'm currently watching my CPU melt, but Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and the one that didn't run before is running now.
Okay. Okay.
We might be okay. Oh,
Looks good.
give it another second or two. And then the only other thing to do then, okay, that error is like I know that error is going to happen, so it's an intentional error.
Okay, we're not going to find a test. The test is not running for the runner.
And the port forward worked. Okay, we might be all right. Hang on, one more time. I think it's probably almost going to be running. Ooh.
Is there a kubectl watch command? I think there is one, right? There's
probably. I'm just being lazy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna do. Yeah, it should be fine now.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. The best. Okay.
Nope. I broke it. It should have worked. Maybe it does need more time.
I mean, your first one is still in it. You still have a bunch of checkout service.
Oh, dude, this is the waiting time. Dude. Okay, actually, well that's running then. I can't switch to my OBS, but I'm going to anyway. Let me switch. So.
Ooh, now we can see you. Ooh, nice, man. Ooh, look at this. Look at this, my friend.
So, I call this, and you're going to love this coming from the retro computing gaming world as well. I call this Wing Commander.
Oh, nice. The Wing Commander. I like it, man. Awesome.
I was trying to get it to fly around the screen, but I didn't have enough time. So anyway, I'll drop that into the Slack, and if anyone wants to use it, then like feel free.
Yeah,
but I also put it. This is a green screen MP4. So then I just green screen it out, and then the background out, and then there's also a GIF in the Slack. So anyway, that was mine.
Awesome, man. Nice. That was a good use of our time.
It's still emitting. Well, this may not be ending too good, but I do have
a classic demo.
Backup.
Okay, you have a
classic demo.
Yeah.
I even have my Wing Commander running. Oh, maybe. I think this is also my CPU running at 100%.
Wow. Okay. Something is happening.
Hang on, let's see if I can get some spans to happen. I swear this worked beforehand. Oh, look, here's one I prepared earlier, though it's not quite the demo I was hoping for, but that's all right. I have backup. But what happens is Neat. All right. Now this is where we refer to that this is fine Kubernetes scene that I did before we did this.
Right.
We go to that. This is where we cut to that. Yeah, let me see if I can get it to load again, but I suspect it's still pretty unhappy. Yeah, no. It wants to load.
Oh my God, your computer is dying, man. It's
A little bit. It's
maybe full. Oh, look, you got.
Maybe. Check that again. Maybe. All right, I'm going to click around a little bit and see if I can't get something to work.
Ooh, interesting.
Come on. If not, I'll go to the backup. Oh, here we are running out of time. All right. I'm just going to go to the backup. So essentially what we do is we're able to gather each time when an endpoint gets invoked, all the components that sit below that particular endpoint is then mappable through OpenTelemetry. So every time every service through that invocation gets called, we're able to map that through and create a wonderful little trace map here. And then, oof, that does not look good. And then we're able to get all the sort of information from that. So all the header information, all the body and payload. Essentially, we can create this really nice story from each trace. So I'm going to switch, in the interest of time, I'll switch to the one we prepared earlier. And so what we can do is we can create these really nice maps. And that even goes down to SDKs being integrated. So you can see the one here. It's got Twilio.
This is a view of a single transaction. Am I correct? Like an auto.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But we can get the full trace, the picture. So if you go through like from the fast API edge, you can see it's called then hitting a Lambda, sending a Twilio on two separate like runs, and then that Lambda then goes on to drop a item into queue or pass a message into a queue and then pass it on to a multiple of other services. And what we usually see with this type of view and why it's so handy, because as dev, like digging through logs is the worst because it's literally like trying to look for a needle in a log stack, as I always say. But when we get errors appear in a downstream like this, they sometimes they're usually caused by an upstream issue that you don't see until it hits the downstream. Yeah. And of course, Murphy's law always says that that's going to happen at like 1 a.m. on a Friday morning when you're trying to sleep. Yeah. So picking through that as quickly as possible to try and get your stack back up, always super important. And that's why everyone should OpenTelemetry everything.
Yep, definitely.
And where's my demo doing? To rescue my memory. No, it's really not happy. Cool. Anyway, I had a backup.
Nice, man.
It almost worked. But anyway, if anyone wants to play with it, I would highly recommend checking out, of course, set up an Amigo account and then check out that OpenTelemetry demo because it normally runs fine. Oh, you know what? I'm probably going to clear it and redo it after this, and then of course it's going to work. But anyway, I highly recommend checking that out.
Yeah, there's still kind of I kind of feel like there's still kind of open questions in kind of distributed and especially kind of serverless architectures. I mean, if my API gateway is calling Lambda functions that creates a file, and then the file, when it's created, there's an update event from the bucket into another service, I don't know that this is the same sequence, right? Although it's the same sequence, there's still gaps there in terms of the my ability to kind of trace an entire story, right?
I think it's going. So I've just fallen down the rabbit hole solutioning that. That's actually a really interesting problem, and I haven't tried it. I'm going to say it should work, or if not, we should be able to see that invocation work because it's one transaction. But I'd love to play with that just to see. I think the thing with this is, and we've seen this over the last few years, is the whole OpenTelemetry as a project is still an emerging and being developed. And PHP is a great example of this. There's still a lot of work to be done on that front just because it's still being built out. And even actually Golang too. I've been playing with that recently and there's still work to that. So if anyone is looking to get involved in an open source project, I would highly recommend, other than Winglang, of course, but which I did a contrib last week too. Wasn't a huge one, but just a minor one. But it all helps. I lost you. I was playing with the React. Oh, I was playing with the React app example in Winglang last week, and I was going through the docs, and there was like some things that needed fixing. So I fixed them and then did a pull request because guy was there. Always pays to contribute. So anyway,
Awesome.
yes, always contribute to open source.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, OpenTelemetry is an amazing project. It's the ability to, the decision to say this is how we talk to each other. I mean, this is kind of let's talk to each other this way and let's agree on this, and then kind of spans and traces and logs and getting all this stuff together in the context of a request. It's I think it's an amazing project.
Totally. And it was so fragmented before, like there was no standardized approach to formatting. It was just, it was literally a whole bunch of leftover like projects all shoved together. So it's good to have that cohesiveness approach.
Right. And it kind of it unlocks a lot of stuff once you have a language or kind of a way to say how distributed tracing looks like. Now you can say, you know what, if you're using OpenTelemetry, this is a testing tool that reads your OpenTelemetry, and then I can basically do synthetic tests based on traces of OpenTelemetry because I know request response. It really unlocks a lot of possibilities for the market, and it also kind of it weakens vendor locking in a space where the bill is very high. I mean, the amount of people are paying for observability is crazy.
I see those social posts all the time. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you do. Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
Developer Steve, any other stuff you want to mention? You want to show? You want to remind our viewers? Anything else?
So many things, but I can't think of any one thing. The only thing I would say is if you're not already contributing to like an open source project, please do. And in particular, like obviously the Wing. Actually, I watched the last live stream episode you did, and there was some really interesting discussion around. And kudos to the team for like taking on this challenge, which is building one approach for multiple clouds. Like I've done that before for social platforms with a one social SDK before, and like that was harrowing enough. But you're doing it with like how many API services in AWS alone? Like millions.
It's
literally millions.
I think that the important stuff that we've done, we've created an easy way to test the same behavior on multiple clouds. I think that's our kind of the core team contribution to the story, and it needs to evolve. And then it really unlocks a lot of stuff. If you have a test running now, I need to implement this for GCP. Most of the time, this is done by community members, by wingnuts that are taking. It's kind of crazy. We're probably going to see this in Mark. It's amazing to see how people are building this software. It's really cool to see it. Awesome. Okay, Developer Steve, are you familiar? You're familiar with our next guest? Our next guest is Mark. He used to be this show as Mark the DJ. He would basically talk about songs that he chosen. He done such a good job, so he's got a promotion into being our changelog guy, but he's still responsible for the music. So thank you very much, Developer Steve. Go ahead.
Before I go, did you want a music intro for you? I have one ready to go.
Okay, it's a music intro to another music intro, but let's hear it. Let's hear it.
That's right.
No, you can.
Let me.
Make a buddy, you're a boy, make a buddy, you're a boy now. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got blood on your face, you big disgrace. Picking your charm all over the place. Singing,
There we go.
will rock you.
Wow. Okay.
On that note, talk to you later.
So from Swing to Little Sims, thank you very much, Developer Steve. Point and Kill by Little Sim, and then we're gonna have the changelog. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you in our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Point and kill. If I want it, it's mine. You can't stop me. Hey!
Family no go so far. man proper, no lie, give me strength, let me prosper. Daddy say he want me to be lawyer, be doctor, riff raff, kitty gun, window shopper. Oh yeah, fine boy, take away auntie, bougie, akile, oh I fancy when
Mark, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I appreciate Developer Steve because the music intro to that music. I mean, he didn't know it was coming up, so I appreciate the whiplash of
Wow. Wow.
of the genre.
Wow.
No fault to him. I don't know. He thought he was going to introduce a person, so it made
Yep.
more sense.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I love what happened.
Yep, it was an interesting. What I kind of took a risk. Let's hear the music. Maybe it's going to be something that's gonna sound natural.
Hey, good thing it wasn't the same song. That would have been embarrassing. I would have
Yeah.
like showing up in the same clothes to a thing.
Right. So for like almost every 2 weeks, because we weren't here 2 weeks ago. Thanks you for joining. And what can you say about the last month of Winglang? You just went through the changelog. Were you surprised to see the changes?
Well, kind of, but only for a bad reason, which is that I was making the changelog, and I realized, and like when you went live, I realized
Okay.
that wait a minute, there was a changelog 2 weeks ago. I forgot. I forgot there wasn't. Like on my computer, I was like, oh, okay, this is the last version. So I was doing a changelog for basically like a month.
Yeah, but there wasn't a changelog 2 weeks ago. We were at Barcelona
No, was it not 2 weeks ago? There was one. The last one Uri did.
1 month ago. 1 month ago. 1 month ago.
Well, like, yeah. So I was doing it like I'm saying a month. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
So it was like 120 changes that I was
Okay.
looking at. I was like, oh geez. And I made a changelog for that. And then I realized when you're going live, like, wait a minute, no, there was one after
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
So I had to like remove stuff, and I added one thing. So
now we're gonna see the
let's-
output, right?
yeah. But despite all that, still 89 changes. So this is from that. So it's still a huge amount.
Wow. And 16
Um,
wingnets. Kind of nice. That's super nice.
Which I'm now realizing. Wait, I must have miscalculated. I just realized the math on this. If you look at those two version numbers.
No,
Oh no, it's possible. We can actually group together.
Oh, right,
commits.
because of the queuing,
Okay.
right? Because of queuing. Well,
Yeah,
what's
because-
that mechanism? Tell me about that mechanism. The fact that we're queuing commits together into what's the
Well, because like the workflow takes a long time, the build workflow. So
Yeah.
if two people merge their PR around the same time, like we have we're using Mergify for a merge queue,
Yep.
so that
Yep.
they can both kind of build them at the same time, and they get merged at the same time, which means they get put into the same release. So multiple commits will be in the same release.
Got it. Okay,
That's
so
it. That's all. That's all there is in the mechanism. But anyway, still a huge number of people for a normal period of time between Winglies. I think people were maybe rejuvenated from whatever holidays they were having, or whatever breaks they were having in early January.
right.
So there's been a lot of activity. I know there's been a lot of activity from the Wing team side as well.
Okay.
So
Not a lot of breaking changes. Is this a dawn of a new day, or just a coincidence?
just a coincidence. There was 3 breaking changes like a couple of weeks in the last like period of time. So it was just we're just in the gap right now of
Okay.
no breaking changes. But I don't know. Maybe there'll be less over time.
Okay.
So let's get it started. First up is a change from Chris. There is the addition of this node of global built-in. This technically was something that you could do before. I believe it was under like maybe a std.node or something that you could get. You could. There was a static function on a class that you could call to get this. But I think we deemed the use case important enough to expose it as a global, as like a shortcut to getting this. As I point out here, it's kind of useful for some some inner workings of Wing, but also like a really common use case when building resources is to create singletons, which are like instances of resources that are at the app level or at the root level.
Right.
so that they're shared among many
Right.
places.
Like adding a provider, right? That's a classic use case for a singleton, right?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
if you
I didn't
feel
write that use case here because it's a little longer. I don't
Yeah.
want to fit it, but
But that-
you get the
But
idea.
the East test environment feels like it's going to take some time, but if it's going to be as common as it feels right now, it's also going to turn into something that is shorter than node off bucket dot app dot East test environment.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
true. The concept of like the test and not test, and then like
Yeah.
and also platform. That's
Right.
another dimension along
Right.
which you vary things. Yeah,
Right.
we haven't quite
Right.
nailed it yet. But this is exposed now. So if you want to use this instead of like an environment variable, this is an option.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Chris.
Next up, we have Gary, which I should point out. Gary had so many changes.
Oh, really?
I think it was like 18 of them, or like something.
Wow.
In my first version, he had like 25 changes. In my version, that
Okay.
was over
Wow.
over many versions. But yeah, huge amount of changes. So let's go over a few of them.
Okay.
Just a few.
Okay.
Big one here is this shell and exec utility functions to access the shell and execute programs. Right now, only available in flight, and this is something that people were using extern for everywhere. It was like a one of the most common uses of extern to use raw JavaScript to do this. So now we have it available.
I like the fact that you put in the first example the util.shell, the Gary with how do you call it, quotes, to indicate that this is running a shell and the quotes will disappear. I mean, this is actually going to run inside the shell, so the quote on top of Gary will just disappear because it's just.
Well, no, they actually won't. I just probably didn't need the quotes there.
No, you don't have to use the quotes, but the test.
Yeah, you're
the test pass will use the quotes, right?
It would, but yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you don't have to use the quotes, right? Of course,
you didn't have to use it here. I think I wrote something different before, and then that needed quotes.
Maybe thanks, Gary. That's but then there was too much repetition in the test.
Yeah, maybe. I think I was testing like shell injections.
Okay.
Before I did this, and then I was like, oh yeah, I should do the changelog version of this and just say and not put injections in here for fun, you know.
Yeah. Classic. Yeah. Awesome.
So I'll say thank you to Gary for that, but we have more from him. So before further thanking him, let's go to the next one. Nice. In all of our targets now, when we say like least permissions, we generate like Wing generates least permissions or least privilege permissions. Sorry.
Right.
That wasn't really true yet for GCP. It kind of, I believe the implementation used like some sort of like built-in account for each resource. So like if you're accessing a bucket, you had access like to all buckets, or you had access to all operations on a bucket. Sorry, not a bucket. What's the storage system of GCP?
I think Google Storage.
Okay.
I think
so. Like it wasn't permissive is the point. Or it was too permissive. And now, thanks to Gary, he added the functionality that it will actually generate custom roles, similar to how we do elsewhere, that contain only the things that you need, such as like a get or delete type of thing.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super important parity to have parity between these clouds.
Interesting.
And
awesome.
That was the two from. I had another one, but I had to delete it because it wasn't in this version.
Okay.
But so for now, I'll move on to a first-time contributor.
You didn't say thanks, Gary, before, and now you're not saying thanks, Gary, on the second.
I'm pretty sure I said it like five. I said it like 5 times.
Okay.
Gary, you're fine. Thank you. We'll see you in Slack.
Oh. And now we have John.
Yeah. So first-time contributor. John added several of the our math library is actually, or the math namespace module, I would call it.
Okay.
Has already several functions. It's actually a pretty rich library in terms of use cases, but we didn't have log, which is I think I'm assuming John had a use case for it if he needed to add it and we saw it missing. So the various log bases and a sign, which I I feel like I've wanted to use something like that. And I just never thought of it being a built-in, like checking to like getting the sign of a number. I feel like I've never even considered that being. But now I'm thinking like, oh, I probably could have used that before. It's also in like the Node math library as well.
And it returns well, I mean, it returns a number minus 1, 1 or 0, right? This is interesting. Why would you not just check if it's bigger than 0, smaller than 0, and equal to 0? I mean, what's the difference?
I don't. I think it probably depends on how you want to write the code that you're writing. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say the same about a lot of math functions. You could just you could write some of the math operations that go into it.
Yeah.
Arguable, I think sign could eventually also be used for like, we don't have this right now, but like mapping function, like first order function type, like you're mapping this function over like a list of, things.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So we don't have that now, so it's whatever. But
Yeah.
we're just building up a more rich standard library, which I think goes along with a lot of our like we have an opinionated and like dense standard library, and we want it to be more so. Like that's kind of a opinion we have in general.
So if you really have a good use case for sign, that's the time to show it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
he added it.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
So thank you to him for that. Next up, first I want to say for this person, they actually contributed before in 2022.
Nice.
We don't have a lot of people that we have a lot of people that contributed early, but a lot of them kept were kept around.
Right.
This is someone who I'm glad to see them back.
Nice.
I remember like their PR, their first PR. So thank you for adding bucket or delete to bucket long ago.
Nice.
Nice. And now coming back to add this feature. So doing this already works for numbers, where you could do it like an addition assignment.
Oh, really?
Where
I didn't know
that works. It already works for numbers, but it didn't work for strings, which was weird because strings also do support concatenation with the plus operator.
Makes sense.
So it kind of just makes sense that this would also work. Now it does.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, TXX Nano. I don't know if they're comfortable with me using their real name. I never know that with this, because it is available. But I'll leave it to him if he wants. If he's going to keep contributing, let me know. Reach out on Slack. If you want, I can put your actual name there as well.
Awesome.
So let's go to the next, and thank you for that. The last two are from Yoav, which I'm leaving the best one for last. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Eyal, but I think you'll love the last one. But start with this one first. So parentheses can now be in type annotations. This is something that I don't even know if you like. Some people probably didn't even notice that it didn't work
because of the functions. No, I noticed it. It was weird to do a function without putting a parenthesis. It's and the example with the question mark here is a great example. This is how can you do this before?
You couldn't.
You couldn't. Right.
This was actually the point of the point of the PR.
Yeah.
Was to allow for this because this was impossible to express.
That was impossible. Right.
Yeah. And now it's possible.
Yeah, we don't have type def, right? You could usually do this with type def, right? But we don't have it, and it wasn't possible, and it annoyed me. Not that I've ever commented on this ticket or ever found it, but it annoyed me. But then I did and that's it. Move
yeah, and this works anyway. It's like this will work in your your interfaces and your class, definitions.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. Really nice. In your in members, this is super nice with the fact that we have eager kind of lazy evaluation. Now it's actually you can have a kind of an optional function and then call it later. That's super nice right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it'll also be useful too for other. I'm trying to think of I don't know, readability. My example isn't particularly useful, no. But I have seen cases if you have somewhat complex types because we don't have type aliasing in any way.
Right.
might be useful just to have this, and it kind of makes sense that it works. It's almost like you're treating the types kind of like an expression in your mind, although they're different.
Just start getting functions as arguments inside functions, and that's it. It's without parentheses, it's not possible to parse as a human.
Mm-hmm. All right, so thank you for that, and I'll go to the the last one that's
working.
That's not coming. Oh gosh, I even built it up that this would be your favorite one.
Oh my god, what a disappointment!
Oh, okay, wait, sorry. Okay, give me 1 second. Not that camera. This camera.
Okay.
So this change is related to in-flight closures.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get it. So I'm assuming you haven't. It was merged today from Yoav.
Okay. No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, I got it working. Let me share again. Sorry about that. Get excited. You ready?
I'm
Are you about to fall over right now from how insane this is about to be?
This is starting to be unhealthy for me. This is my blood pressure is going high. You're not sharing the screen. Anticipation is killing me.
Okay, it's sharing now.
Okay.
So.
Yes.
You're right. You're already excited.
Yeah.
So a big problem with closures, and this is related to how they work under the hood, which we can talk about if we want. But if you try to use them in loops, and maybe some other cases, like I think some in like pre-flight functions, like pre-flight closures that were invoked multiple times, maybe that you would get this error about there being duplicate IDs, duplicate names.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen now.
Yeah, and the reason I like it a lot because I wanted to play. I want to say this is the classic example that you put in the ticket to say this is not working, fix it. But I wanted to play with stuff like the Wing Cloud team has done some TypeScript, RPC, something that kind of an ORM like for Open API. And I want to use that Open API to kind of go over different routes and just add in-flight function, right? Can't create an in-flight function inside the for loop. That's. If I want to go over all the get for this and just connect this to some function, programmatically kind of configure my API gateway, I couldn't do it. And I was super annoyed by this. And the mechanic why it didn't work is also kind of quite crazy. It's a deep implementation detail of how we implement in-flight, right?
The short version of it is that in-flights are also themselves a resource, and resources need to have unique IDs.
Right.
And that's why I can stop the explanation there. I remember I implemented something partially in this direction to kind of not actually require that in-flights be resources, but we were still generating. I didn't go the extra mile to actually stop it from breaking in the compiler.
Right.
So thank you to Yoav for changing that.
Yeah. Your TypeScript work to kind of set it up, right? To allow that mechanism to be basically.
No, it was before that, but it was. Okay. It's related. It's very related. I considered it a prerequisite for writing Wing and TypeScript, which we'll probably talk about next time, and not today.
That would be maybe we need more than just the changelog for that specific demo. Okay. So thank you, Yoav, for doing this. What would be this? What will it be? Closure 1, 2. What what's going to be the result here of the actual resource IDs, the in-flight resource ID?
It'll be still an incrementing number, but it will be a runtime number rather than a what we had before was statically. It was a statically known number, as it was seen in the code. That's why it didn't work in a for loop, because it was static. It didn't. No. Right. So now it's runtime. The nice thing about this is related to the change I did before, that the IDs aren't actually used for anything.
Right. Exactly.
So now they were before. Now they're not. So we don't actually care what they are as long as they're never conflicting.
They were before. They were used.
They were used. I believe they were used in the IDs. They were used as IDs of other resources.
Really?
If you were making a handler function the ID of like the handler would have this, and it would actually, so it would be important for it to be stable, because if you like moved it around in the code and it changed numbers, your whole thing would your Terraform or whatever
would change. Right.
And now it still wouldn't, because we don't care about what the IDs are.
Right.
They're just used to distinguish between different instances, and that's it.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. Awesome. Thank you, Yoav. Thank you for doing this. That was the last one, right?
And that was all.
That was all, my friend. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, like always. Are you familiar with Raffle? Are you aware of the fact that we've done a raffle for a Wingling cup or a Wingling mug?
I'm aware of it. I didn't enter. It felt like a conflict of interest, even though I would like a mug. I don't have one.
That's I mean, I've answered. So it's this is you just put me in a bad spot. I'm hoping for to get the mug, man.
I'm pretty sure it would be a bad look if you won the mug. I'm just gonna say that out loud. If I don't know what's gonna happen.
We're gonna see how it rolls. So what we're gonna do right now? We're gonna thank you very much, Mark, for doing this. This was great, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, and excited to talk about TypeScript. And we're gonna hear right now "Point and Kill" by Little Sims. Am I pronouncing the name of the band correctly?
Yeah, the woman, yeah, or the artist name, Little Sims.
The artist name Little Sims. Okay,
yeah.
so
highly recommend her to anyone here. She's really, really great.
Awesome.
And yeah, Point and Kill. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.
If I want it, it's mine. You can't stop me. Hey, you can't stop me. Oh, you can't stop me. Point and kill. You can't stop me. Oh, you can't stop me. Point and kill. You can't stop me. Oh, you can't stop me. Point and kill. You can't stop me. Oh, you can't stop me.
I do as I want, I do as I like. I know watch face, I know fear, I know.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, we can hear you. Let me unmute you.
No, you can
Hello,
hear me.
Tsuf. Hey.
Hello.
Now we can hear you too.
Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. Hey, Nathan, how you doing, man?
Hey, how are you? I'm excellent. I've been enjoying the show backstage.
It's your first time on stage, right? It's your second time, right, Tsuf, for you, right? Is it second? But it's your first time joining, and you're a new member to our team. So first of all, we're glad you're here, Nathan, and and thanks for joining us. Kind of traditionally, we want to have Revital here, right? In a way, where is Revital right now? She's playing volleyball. She's either winning or losing. We're gonna know about this tomorrow because we're gonna feel it over her. Herself, and we're gonna know if they lost. Tsuf, what did you and Revital cook for us with Amiel? Also, what did you all do?
So I can't really see how many people are watching the show, but we wanted to increase the number. So of course we had to give them some kind of a gift. And we really hope we will have more people than gifts that we can really give away. So we made a raffle, and it was really cool because we actually made it in Wing, and it was
That's probably the coolest part.
Yeah, it was a really nice experience for me. I really liked how easy it was integrated with React, how easy the integration was. And also I really liked the API gateway. It was almost as intuitive and much faster than Express, which is my usual go-to. Yes, this is the code for the app for anyone who wants to see. And also I'm going to share the code and a lot of things I learned or little tips on the next team time. But I couldn't understand how to share invitation for a Google Calendar. So you will have to follow us in Slack and we will share it there.
And that's going to be kind of next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome. Yep. Next Tuesday. What time is it? Let's take a look. Okay, so next Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern time. 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Great. Awesome. So what can you so you got, can you show us the website? Is it possible to see the website?
Sure.
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's see it.
Me too, sure.
Have you developed anything in Winglang so far, Nathan?
Yeah, just some of the example apps, but I haven't done anything superb yet.
Got it. So let's take a look at what Tsuf done with Amiel and Revital. This is going up.
So all of this beautiful design is Amiel, so I just followed its Figma files. So here you can see that we have a Raffle, and that the whole website was created and deployed in under 3 hours.
Nice.
It wasn't so far from that if you take only the part of the work and less of the parts of getting coffee and stuff. But it wasn't a lot. So
you were able to develop this locally and just deploy this on the cloud, right? This is
and it worked perfectly. I didn't need to redeploy it again after deploying it first time. So it's wonderful.
Nice.
I never deployed something so fast.
Right, it's crazy how easy it is to deploy kind of a serverless application, even. So it's extremely.
So we collect your name and email. We don't save them. Don't worry. We don't have a disclaimer here. That's the only thing missing. And then we ask you to go to see the Wingly. I hope a lot of you are here. And that's all. After you put your name and email, you will get a nice message. And now if you will go to it will just tell you that the raffle is over, and soon you will be able to see this Wingly episode on the screen to see the winners. So are you ready to see the winners?
Yes, there's a nasty comment by Hassan here. I'm not sure if he might get the money, but I'm gonna get 5 mugs according to him. But I don't care.
There is no even one Ayal, and even if there was any Ayal, I would take it out.
Wow, there's a lot of innocent Ayal that will be offended by this.
So I do want to mention that I know we called it the mug raffle, but I have a similar cup, and it's a tumbler. So yeah, so it's dual purpose. It'll keep things hot or cold, just depending on what time of day it is, I guess.
That's awesome. I learned a new word today.
Yep, me too.
Very cool.
So how are we going to conduct how are you going to conduct the? I mean, Nathan, you here as the lawyer, basically.
So this is fully unscripted, but Tsuf has a random spinner, and
check that it's really random. I looked at the code and stuff to make sure.
So this is like the Wheel of Fortune.
Yes, that's very cool. And I got all the names here. I removed the last name, so it will still be private, but I got the full details. Me, so don't worry. If you can see your exact name here. Okay, so are you ready to see who is the first winner?
Yeah,
let's
okay. Let's see.
Where's developer Steve? We need like another music intro.
We got
for the spinner
music inside of this. Like it's got like a nice.
Okay, we got music. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go with this.
Go.
Oh.
Wow!
Oh yeah,
Looks
Doug.
like Doug
Nice.
S.
Doug S. Nice. So you're the first winner of a Winglang. Tumblr. Okay.
Tumblr
okay.
/ mug.
Tumblr/map. Awesome.
Are you here with us, Doug? Maybe? No?
Yeah. Now we can. Sorry.
Is Doug here? Watching
Let's
us?
see.
Maybe?
Doug watching us right now. If you are, ping us that if it should be at the door right now. It's super fast how that stuff happens.
We already shipped it.
Yes.
Already-
Okay. This is the first one. I will remove him from the spinner. So now I can spin it again.
And the second one will be.
So we're taking notes, right?
Yeah. I'm
Who is
writing.
thinking?
I know it's being recorded, but
Ooh, Utah Y. Nice.
Nice. Congratulations.
Nice. You're the second one.
Amazing. Okay.
If you're here, ping us.
Say hi. Okay. Let's go for the third winner.
Okay. And we have it's either May or Kevin. It's Kevin. It was close. It was almost May, but it's Kevin. Nice. We got Kevin.
Amazing. Kevin, are you here? Maybe. No. I'm wondering what the chance is that the next person will be here. Actually, the next person to win.
it's possible.
Yep.
I hope. Okay. Next one, it will be the fourth winner out of 5.
It looks like it's Nico. No, Ganesh. Is it Oliver? Oh, Oliver.
Oliver!
Wow, nice.
Oliver. That's nice. Oliver, are you here? Maybe he's working on the code. There's some nice features that I suggested on the language side that I'm just waiting for it to happen. So I'm glad Oliver got that.
Congrats.
He also commented that the website was looking great and that I did a good job.
What a great guy. What a great guy. Awesome guy.
I'm glad he won. Okay, next one. That's the 5th one, right?
Right, that's the 5th. And congrats, Kevin, and congrats to Oliver. And the last one, last but not least. Is it going to be Michael? Is it going to be Alon, Marcy, or MJ? Kamal? Is it Kamal? Is it Aiden? Oh, it's Kamal.
Kamal.
Nice.
Congratulations.
No.
Kamal. Awesome. Great. So we got our 5 winners. It's Doug, it's Utah, it's Kevin, Oliver, and Kamal, right? This is 5
Yeah.
winners.
Yep.
Those are names.
Yes. And that's the end of our first raffle. And I think next time we're gonna do some quiz, right? Kind of live quiz.
Yes. Next time we are going to have like a few or maybe one question. And the first one to type the right answer will get something.
Okay, nice.
And maybe we'll even have a few of those quizzes.
Nice. Well,
Stay tuned.
yeah, awesome. So thank you very much, Tsuf. Thank you, Nathan, for joining us. Thank you for doing this amazing work. It's just another way to say thank you and to give a little bit back for the community and to get people involved and to get people also into the Wingly. And great work and for us to have fun with writing code, right? So super important.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tsuf.
nice job, Suf.
Yeah,
I really like to spin the wheel.
yeah. And thanks again to Amiel and Revital, right? They're part of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So this was the 26th episode of the Wingly update. It used to be named to be TBD, but it kind of sticked. And we're gonna end with the last part of the song. Let me just look it up for a second. Okay, the last part of the song by Point and Kill by Little Sims. Thank you, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
See you
Good
in a few
night.
days.
Good day.
Good day.
Goodbye.
Nobody said I do as I want, I do as I like. And I watch face, I no fear nobody. No fear nobody. A mini paid, what can you offer? Snakes in the grass, no trust them. Point and kill any imposter. Smooth travel, never stalking Costa. Cause not everywhere's pretty, but for now.
It always happened. I forgot to end the stream. Bye-bye.